is up, my beautiful little passengers? Welcome back to the Off the Rails podcast with your, I feel weird saying this, but for lack of better terms, with your conductor, Morgan Lee Willett. Okay, today's episode is going to be a little different. I'm kind of going into this blindly, which, as you all know, I'm very type A. I don't like not having a plan. So this is going to be a learning experience for me. We are going to do some listener questions, some listener suggestions. I had posted basically this fun little thing that producer Courtney sent me, and you guys can record voice memos for me. So we're going to play some of those on this episode. When I say I have no idea what I'm getting into, I don't know what these messages are saying. Courtney has listened to them. She has told me nothing. So I'm like, are people being nice to me? Are people asking me questions? Like, what are we about to get into? But we will find out together on this episode in a little bit. I'm going to give you a brief little update because I think this will be my last solo episode for a few weeks. So I am, as of tomorrow, I'm heading to Australia, back to the land down under. I came in hot to this podcast studio, just so frazzled because I don't know if y'all know this. I fly, and the reason I'm able to do a long distance relationship and go on these crazy flights is because my sister is a flight attendant, so I fly standby. Now, you probably think that sounds awesome, amazing, lovely, cool. It is, because a business class ticket to Australia is around $7,000. And I think even to fly economy to Australia, you're looking at a couple grand. So yes, it is such a perk. Now, what people don't talk about, this standby buddy pass life, it is so stressful. It is not like you just get on a free flight and you waltz up to the airport and all is well. No. I've been on the phone with my sister and my mom all day long trying to finagle how in the hell I'm going to pull this one off because, guys, basically it is, you don't know if you are guaranteed a seat until literally the hour before. So imagine me, such a planner. That is a very hard thing. And so I have an app, and you're able to go in the app and you can see on the back end, we have this special little thing. So you can see who has signed up for the flight, how many people, how many open seats are there. And I checked last night. I was like, oh my God, I'm flying to Sydney in the middle of winter. A breeze. Business class, 30 open seats. I was like, I'm going to waltz up there, take a little 17-hour nap in a lay down bed, and I'll be in the arms of hot Aussie, all is well. Well, no, I woke up this morning, seats are filling up. I'm like, who is flying to Sydney on America's birthday? They don't celebrate the 4th of July. I land on the 4th and I'm so perplexed. Anyways, what you need to know, standby is unpredictable. So I was going to fly out of LAX. Well, now I checked. And basically with the standby buddy pass life, you're playing a giant game of chess where you're trying to figure out what flight you can get on at what time, when you need to get somewhere. And as you all know, I live in Nashville. Nashville's airport is hell on earth, for lack of better terms. It is the worst. I have nothing good to say about the Nashville airport. I love the city of Nashville. You got to do something with the airport sitch. We got no direct flights. So for me to get to there's, guys, this is insane. I honestly hate my life right now. I don't, but I do. There's one flight a day going to Australia, and there's one from LAX, and there's one from San Francisco. For me, now it's looking like, because I'm playing this game of standby chess, okay? I'm checking the app. People are signing up. The seats in first class are dwindling. So I thought LAX would be better. And I'm like, skirt. We're going to switcheroo. I think I need to get to San Francisco because those have more open seats. Also, guys, I could wake up tomorrow morning. This could completely change. The flights could be totally full. I could get to San Francisco on standby, and then I could be like, shit, you're out of luck. These seats are completely full. You now have to wait 24 hours, chill at the airport. It's honestly kind of stressful. But now for me to get to Nashville tomorrow, listen to this travel day. It's lovely. This is also on July 2nd, which apparently that is one of the busiest days to travel in the whole entire calendar year. Who freaking knew that people travel for the 4th of July? I've never gone anywhere for the 4th. My parents are like, go pop some sparklers in the backyard. We're not taking your ass anywhere. Apparently, no. Everyone in their family goes somewhere on the 4th. But now, I'm so frantic and I'm honestly miserable thinking about this. I'm going to have to go potentially Nashville to Dallas, Dallas to LA, LA to San Fran. And it doesn't stop there. Then hope and pray that I get a seat in that San Francisco flight and hope and pray possibly it's in a lay down first class seat. And if not, I will be upright for 17 hours in economy, which, like, again, I'm not trying to be a brat. I know that is very nice. Obviously, it's free. That's better than having to pay for a ticket. But once you experience that business class life and you get your bed and your slippers and your pajamas and your nice wine instead of like the shitty box wine they serve in the back of the plane, it is so hard to go back. But the positive and the plot twist is when I was going to Europe, I don't know if you guys have heard of a drug called trazodone. It is what they give dogs to help them with their anxiety. It is also what I am prescribed because hot girls have mental health issues, and the hotter they are, the crazier they are. So when I go and I travel for some odd reason, I don't sleep. Just don't. I'm wide awake. I'm sure it's a combination of jet lag, but no matter how long I am there, I just have issues sleeping. So I told my doctor this, and I was like, hey, Dr. John, can you slip me some Ambien? And he's like, no, I can't, because you are also prescribed Xanax for anxiety. If you mix those, bad things happen. Also, I don't know if people realize this. I did not realize this because I was just like, what's the heaviest sleeping pill? Ambien, cool. That sounds great. Apparently, Ambien, you do crazy shit on. Like, people take their clothes off. They're walking around. You sleepwalk. You end up in like different locations than when you fell asleep. Like, it honestly is a terrifying drug, which I was unaware of. So now I'm kind of happy Dr. John did not prescribe me that. But he was like, you know what we're going to give you instead? Trazodone. And I'm like, sir, I literally have been prescribed that before. Those little pills did nothing for me. Like, did not phase this body of mine, this old overactive mind. So instead, he was like, well, just take more of them. Take 4 a night. I'm like, what? Like, that is enough to kill an army. Okay, like, what is wrong with me? Anyway, so he prescribed me 100 trazodone. I have a massive bottle. So anyways, what you need to know is if my ass is sitting 17 hours upright in economy, I will be so on planet trazodone, it is not even funny. So I'll be on a different planet. Hopefully I will literally be able to knock myself out for I would love to sleep for 15 hours, maybe be up for like a casual 2 to get a snack and use the bathroom. And you also on those flights have to walk around, because if not, you can possibly get blood clots, according to my mom, and you can die. She loves to tell me that every time I'm about to take a long flight. She's like, do you have your compression socks? I'm like, no, because I'm not 80. She's like, all right, well, make sure to walk around so you don't get your legs amputated. I'm like, okay, cool. Anyways, guys, that's my little life update. I'm sure on this next solo episode I will either have a lovely travel story or I'll have like a hell on earth travel story. Which way is it going to go tomorrow? We don't know, but I'm putting out all that lucky girl energy. I'm saying my lucky girl mantra, we're lucky and everything is working in our favor, on freaking repeat, that I get there in one piece. But yeah, then I'll get to spend 2 weeks with Hot Aussie. I have not seen this man in 3 months, which is freaking wild. I'm like kind of nervous because obviously you talk to someone, you FaceTime them, all is well. But I literally texted him yesterday because, again, hot girls are crazy. And I was like, do you still want me to come? And he literally was like, shut up, pack your bag and just get to Australia. And I was like, do you still like me? And he's like, literally, what is wrong with you? Like, it's been like 10 months. Obviously, I'm not bringing you here if I don't like you. And I'm like, well, you don't know. Like, I cut my hair off. Do you like short hair? He's like, literally shut up and pack your bags. Anyways, so I'm very excited to see him in person and all the fun things. Honestly, I feel so at peace when I go to Sydney. It is a time when I feel like I get to chill. I get to relax. I feel like I'm honestly more myself there. And I don't know if I don't have the pressure to be on. He makes me feel comfortable. I really don't know what it is, but I do love it. So good Lord, that's it. Let's get into some of these listener questions or statements. I don't know. Are you guys asking me something? Or are you stating something? I have the first one up on my phone here. So let me make sure this is turned up nice and loud. I'm like kind of nervous. Okay, this is my first time hearing this one. Let's see what it is.
Hi, Morgan. My name is Stephanie, and don't really need advice, I suppose. I just really wanted to invite you to Florida. I work for Walt Disney World, and I would love to have you and bring you around. I know you've been to Disneyland, but obviously you have traveling under your belt coming up, but I figured I would place the offer out there, and if you have time, I would love to bring you.
What? Can we do more of these where you guys just invite me to fun places? Stephanie, hi, hello, listener. One, you're a precious angel. Also, I love hearing people's voices and not knowing what they look like because it's just interesting. I feel like I know you just from your voice, and you have a very soothing voice. I don't know if you've ever been told that, Stephanie, but I really like your voice. And abso-freaking-lutely, I would take you up on the Disney World offer. It's the happiest place on earth. Fun fact, though, I actually have been to Disney World. It has been a long time. This is going out to all my competitive cheerleaders out there. If you know, you know. Disney World is where like every cheer competition is. And I was a diehard competitive cheerleader. I eat, breathe, cheer. I had one of those like glittery signs that you buy at the cheer competitions. It was purple and glittery, and it literally said eat, sleep, cheer. I skipped my senior prom. I was also dating someone, and I was like, you can go with someone else. He actually brought another girl, and I was like, okay. But I skipped my senior prom to go to Disney World it was called Cheerleading Worlds. I was on a level 5 international co-ed team. That probably means nothing to some, but the ones who do know, you're like, that's actually pretty cool. Like I was point center flyer, not because I was the best, because I was the tallest. So they're like, you stick out like a sore thumb. Most flyers are 5 foot. You are 5'6", 5'7", if you like squint. So yeah, that is the last time I was at Disney World. We didn't do well. In fact, I think we lost. So I skipped my senior prom and we lost. But Disney World would be magical. Is it close to a place? Is it called Charlotte Harbor? Anyways, I just got a DM from like a hotel, and they're like, do you want to go to Charlotte Harbor, Florida? And I'm like, I don't love Florida, if I'm being quite frank. Actually, a lot of my least fond memories happened in like Miami and also Fort Lauderdale, but I was like, that sounds lovely and quaint. So anyways, this is a long-winded answer, Stephanie, all to say, I would absolutely love to take you up on that offer. Please send me a DM. I will absolutely hang out with you for the day. All right, let's get into the next one. That was so lovely. That was so kind. Oh, here we go. Got it. Okay, here is our next listener.
Hi, first and foremost, Morgan, I love you. You are such an inspo in so many different ways. I love following you. I love all of your content, and you're just so adorable, rooting you on in every aspect of your life. But I have a question. So I'm in the dating realm, and I find I've been at it for like 2+ years now. Still haven't been in a relationship. I definitely know exactly what I want and what I don't want. Value myself as a high value woman, high expectations and standards, and don't settle for the bare minimum. But I have found while dating that there are some people that I make instant connections with, and some who take kind of a while, meaning like maybe 2-3 dates. But I'm curious, in your opinion, like what the difference may be with maybe like obsession, infatuation versus like a real, true, genuine connection, even before you're ever like intimate with somebody. So I'm just curious, like your advice on that and kind of like how to differentiate that, because that sometimes to me, I'm such an extrovert and people person that I feel like I kind of get along with everybody. And so sometimes I think that can be convoluted a little bit. And so just looking to you and anyone else who has advice on this. Thank you so much. So excited.
Oh, wow. That was a good one. Also, you didn't say your name, so I'm just going to call you a cutie listener. Wow. Okay, my head's all over the place. First of all, what I need to say is honestly, good for you. I hope everyone can listen to this cutie listener's statement of, I've been single for 2 years. You are in the dating game. Also, let me just side note, the dating game is miserable. So 2 years of that, like I applaud you for holding yourself to such a high standard and not settling just because you were single. So I really want to give you such a round of applause. You are a queen icon legend. And honestly, you're inspiring me just from that statement. Now, so what I believe what you're asking is like, what is the difference between an instant connection, infatuation, whatever, and an actual like deeper connection that is genuine? And I think, and this is where my head goes immediately, because I have also been there. And I would say, like, do you like them or do you like the idea of them? Because I feel like I sometimes meet people and I have like a list, and I'm sure you do too. Like when you date for so long, you figure out what you like. You know the qualities you're searching for. Like I really did at some point in my life, I wrote down a physical list of every quality that I'm searching for in a partner. And then I found myself when I was dating, and like, let's, for instance, we called him Bicep Boy. I think I talked about him on the podcast. Anyways, Bicep Boy is the guy who bailed on the cruise with me, if you are familiar with that story. But he was the one, and I feel like we instantly connected. I feel like there was an instant connection. I was instantly infatuated. But the issue was I was not actually connected to him as a person. I was infatuated of the idea of him. On paper, his job, his looks, he loved Jesus, his family, like all of these things. And I was like, oh, that is what I am infatuated with. And when I peeled back the layers, I realized that doesn't actually mean that I like him. I like everything that he has on paper. So I think that would be what I would tell you is like, if you do feel that connection, take some time and really like write down why you're feeling that way. And if it is surface level stuff, I like the way he looks. I like that he has this amazing job. I like that he has a cute dog. I like his house. I like his car. I think that is your answer right there. I don't think that you're actually connected to him. But if you find this and you're like, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about him, all this, X, Y, and Z, and you write down, you're like, well, I really like his values. I like the way that he makes me feel. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that, you know, he doesn't give me any anxiety. He makes me feel secure. You know, we have these deep conversations that not only involve him, but me too. Then I think that is a different story. And I also think it's important to note in dating the difference between like a physical connection and an emotional connection. And I do think it is important to have both of those, and you can't have one without the other. And look, I think some people can say like, well, you don't need a physical connection. You don't like, it can just be emotional. And like, there is that like unspoken rule of, you know, do you hook up on a first date? Do you kiss on a first date? I actually don't think it matters. I think it is literally like what is best for you in the situation. Like there's been times where I've kissed on the first date and it went nowhere. And there's times I kissed on the first date and it led to something else. I just really don't think it matters. But if you feel and you're dating and like say you hook up with this guy, that can obviously lead to more intense feelings because you are physical, but are you infatuated just because of that? Or does he offer something emotionally as well? And then if you are with him and it's just an emotional connection, like evaluate and like, oh, is there also something, you know, physical? I think at the end of the day with dating, it's how self-aware can you be? How well do you also know yourself? Which is why, for all my single girls out there, I think it is so imperative to date yourself. Like obviously you're dating other people, important. Like we cannot physically marry ourselves, but are you taking time to take yourself on dates? Are you going to therapy? Are you doing the self-work? Are you actually understanding what you like and you don't like? Because it changes as you grow. Like you are not meant to stay the same your whole entire life. So I also think that is such an important note to my cutie listener. Like, yes, you're dating. You also seem like very smart just from like your voicemail. I'm like, oh, this girl has her shit together. But I also think it's like, okay, like how well do you know yourself? So I think really focusing on that. Sorry, that was like a rambly answer, but hopefully you could follow that one. Let's get into our next one. These are fun. I like these. Okay. Ooh, it's a surprise. Here we go.
How are you so much more authentic than any influencer I have seen on the internet, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, ever? You're just genuine and you connect and you talk to your followers like a real human friend, not like someone who's trying to get money from us. I love it, but how do you stay so grounded?
Oh, I like all the different voices. Now I'm like picturing, I'm like, okay, this voice, I'm like, you're giving me like Mother Earth vibes. Like you do yoga, you have incense in your apartment, maybe a tapestry hanging behind you. Anyways, I don't know. Please don't be offended by that statement if you are not into incense and tapestries, but I also really love your voice. Also don't have a name. So another cutie listener. First of all, thank you so much. That is probably the best compliment that I can receive. Look, I think it's great to be told you have cute outfits. It's great to be told you're pretty, but like, honest to God, the best compliment someone can give me is like, you have good energy and you're authentic. I just took a group of 24 girls to Portugal, and my biggest fear, I was like, I am terrified if I meet anyone who follows me on Instagram, that they will meet me in person and I will not be the same, quote unquote, as I am online, because I really do put so much weight into showing up authentically as myself online. Like, what you see is what you get. The way I show up in my real life to my friends and my family is the exact same way I show up on the internet. And I really have worked hard on that, mainly because and this is maybe going to explain how I show up as authentic. When I first started in the social media world, I was coming off reality TV. I was 22 when I was on Big Brother. I was 24 when I did MTV. That was kind of when I really built a following, and I was so lost. I was just showing up. I was trying to be this quote unquote reality TV girl. I didn't know who I was. I was just honestly trying to be what I thought people would want from me, and it was exhausting. I went to bed exhausted. I woke up exhausted, showing up to do my job, which, by the way, being an influencer, your job is 24/7. So I was showing up as someone I didn't recognize 24/7. And finally, I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do my job well and feel comfortable unless I'm just authentically myself. And I really feel like it was after my breakup, which was such a blessing in disguise. Voldemort took a lot away from me, but he gave me back 10 times more, which is honestly wild to say. I hate even giving him that credit, but it is true. Like, after that breakup, it was like when all the curtains fell down, and I was like, you are hurting, you're raw, this is your chance to be totally authentic. And it was also how I healed. So I think in that, and I realized, okay, I'm healing, I'm being myself. And then to have also, look, I give a lot of credit to the internet and my community. To have people respond and connect with me, that's kind of what like lit my soul on fire. Sorry, that's like a corny term, but it's true. And just being able to connect with people, it made me realize like I can be myself and people will like me for me. And I also think on that note, look, it baffles me. I mean, sorry, we're going on some side notes here. It baffles me when you guys, like my audience or the girls on my group trips, tell me that other influencers don't respond, that other influencers, maybe they haven't been kind or they act different. And I'm like, literally, why? To me, I'm like, I have the world's best job. I get to connect with people. I get to travel. I get a bunch of free shit. Sorry, I'm going to be transparent on that one. And I get to do all of that because of you guys. So it's never a chore for me to talk to y'all. It's never a chore for me to respond. In fact, I feel guilty if I don't respond, which we're like working on having better boundaries as we hit 30. So to me, it was like, it's never a question of not being authentic. It's never a question of not being genuine, because I genuinely love what I get to do. I love that my purpose is now building a community, that my purpose is positively impacting you guys, that I get to connect with people across the whole entire world because of a little piece of metal in my phone. Like, that baffles me. Also, I think look, I'm going to give my parents and my hometown a lot of credit here because, well, yes, I do think I'm a good person. And yes, I love my job. And yes, I think I show up authentically online. I think a lot of it has to do with the way I was raised. Like, my parents would be ashamed if I was ever rude to someone. And look, we do have off days. And I also think, look, I came from a town of 10,000 people in the literal middle of nowhere. People don't leave my hometown. People don't move and go on to do other things with their life. Most people marry in the hometown and they have kids and like they are very happy, but that was never for me. And the fact that I got out and I have built this awesome life, like, I'm just thankful. So at the end of the day, I don't really know how to answer this question of like how and why I'm genuine and authentic, but I'm just I'm just grateful to be here, guys. I'm grateful to be sitting in this podcast chair. And again, it goes back to like, I don't have this life without you. So yeah, I'm going to be nice to y'all. I'm going to DM you back unless you DM me mean things. And now I hit 30 and I just block everyone. So I don't care if you have a bad day. Look, we do have bad days, but if you do message me mean shit, I'm not even responding anymore. I'm just hitting the block button. So maybe think twice before you do that. And also to this listener, thank you so much for that kind message because it really did make my day. See what we have next. I love these. I'm going to do these more often, guys. Send me more voice memos.
Hi, Morgan. I've followed you since Big Brother, and I have to say I have loved watching you mature and grow into the woman you are today. My question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to do a Miles with Morgan trip with you, but is afraid they won't fit in with the group?
Ooh, I love this one. That is such a good question. And I'm going to tell a quick little story. I brought 24 girls. That age range was 22 to like 65 on my last trip, guys, from every walk of life all over the country. We had a Canadian. We went international bringing this group, had some Canadians. I love the Canadians. And I remember one of the girls, Athena, oh my God, adore her, really do. And she was so cute and made friends so quickly. They all did. I honestly was so impressed that everyone just really let their walls down. And again, what I told the girls on the last dinner, I said, my piece of advice in life and traveling and just making friends in general, you get back what you put out. So if you go into a situation with open energy, with smiles, with wanting to talk and meet people, you're going to get that back. And I really feel like all of those girls had that attitude. But then I was talking to Athena and she told me, and I was shooketh by this. I was like, what? She said I think her dad dropped her off before this trip and she was crying at the airport. Not happy tears, but like crying scared. Because she felt the same way as this listener, that she didn't know if she was going to fit in. She didn't know if she was going to make friends. She didn't know if she was going to have a good time. But I think what I learned from Athena's story is, yes, she cried and yes, she was upset, but she still got on the damn plane and she showed up and she left that trip with 24 new friends. So I think my message to anyone is it's life. Life is scary and stepping outside of your comfort zone is uncomfortable. Like, look, I live a pretty freaking wild life and I do some outlandish shit. But it's still uncomfortable for me. Anytime I go into a situation of the unknown, I am wildly uncomfortable. I sweat, I have word vomit, I have anxiety, but I force myself to do it because I know on the other side of your comfort zone is growth. So I really hope sharing that story from Athena helps you feel comfort and peace, knowing that everyone feels that way. I go into the group trips. Look, these are my trips. It is literally called Miles with Morgan. And I get nervous. I'm like, I hope the girls like me. Like, what if they like dislike me? And it's like, well, they're stuck with me for a week, whether they like me or not. But yeah, just say yes. And again, what you put out is what you're going to get back. And at the end of the day, look, what I've learned in life and travel and just, relationships in general, if you are nervous and you're a bit more of a quiet person, all you have to do is ask someone about themselves. People at the end of the day love themselves. We all have egos. So if you are nervous, literally go up and be like, do you have pets? Oh, that's a good one. People love talking about pets. Love it. So if you're nervous, be like, tell me about your animals. Instant friends. And if it makes you feel any better, these girls, oh my God, it's like honestly magical, these trips. I can't put into words. I don't know how I've built this, but the last day, I don't think there was a single dry eye at our goodbye dinner. Everyone was crying. And what I heard the most from girls is, I didn't think I could do it. I showed up. And now I have friends who not only I get to hang out with again, but actually accept me for me, because you're going into these trips. No one knows anything about you. They don't know your past, what you're like at home, your personality. Like, I had girls coming. Oh my God, I'm calling out Sienna and Mari, who were like, I'm so shy at home. And I was like, excuse me, girls, what? They were so bubbly, so outspoken. These girls were pulling men. They were getting numbers at the bar. And I was like, you're telling me that you're shy at home? And I think that's the beauty of travel is you get to just be who you want to be in that moment. So that's another, God, we're all over the place with our little word vomiting answers, but I really hope that answers your question. And I would love, I don't know who you are, but I would love if you join me on a future trip. Cough, cough. I'm launching Greece in September. One more. Let's see what we got. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my text that my mom just texted me. She said, this is what it's like to be my mother, the mother of Morgan Lee Willett, who panics about literally everything. She said, Morgan, dear, sweet, wonderful child of mine, there's nothing to panic about. And then I don't know what the rest of the message says, but Mom, I'm so sorry that I put you through so much. I'm 30 years old and I'm still having to text you having midlife crises throughout my day. Okay. Last but not least, let's hear it.
Not a question. Just want to say that I fucking love you. That Miles with Morgan trip to Portugal was amazing. It was everything and more that I could have ever hoped it to be. And I think everyone should experience a Miles with Morgan trip, but also please don't take my spot since spots are limited, but definitely something everyone should try. And I can't say enough good things. Thank you.
Oh, God, that was strategic, Courtney. Good job putting that one after the other one.
Wasn't me. That's the direct order they came in.
Wow, if that is not fate, that was the direct order they came in. I don't know what is. That actually kind of gave me goosebumps. I don't know who this is. I'm trying to think about the voices. I think this might be Amy, but whoever it is, one of my Miles with Morgan girls, thank you from the bottom of my freaking heart. Yeah, again, these trips are so special to me, guys. They're not something I do for money. They're not something I do for clout or fame or anything. I genuinely do it. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I do it because I selfishly want to travel, but I also do it because it allows people to see the magic of travel and how it can genuinely change your life. And the fact that now I've done 3 of these trips, that's 40 girls, and I hope that I have positively impacted every single one of their lives and they continue to broaden their horizons and see what the world has to offer. Look, I say it all the freaking time, but the world is legitimately your oyster. It is your oyster. You are a pearl, a lovely, shiny little pearl. Go make the freaking best of it, okay? Because you don't know when life's going to be over. So go to Antarctica or some shit. That's my most recent crazy ideas. I really want to do a cruise to Antarctica, mainly because, dude, there's I got a chip missing. Again, hot girls are the craziest ones. These Antarctic cruises go through, it's a passage. I don't know what it's called, but it's this famous passage in the sea that ships have to go through. And it's gnarly, dude. I have seen videos. Yeah, what's it called? It's crazy. There's videos on the cruise ships, and these are massive cruise ships, and there's 10-foot waves slamming against the windows. And if you're listening to this and you're bitch, what is wrong with you? Why do you want to do that? I just want to do it to say that I've done it, because how many people have experienced that in their life? And then there's this one specific Antarctic cruise where I don't know how this is safe, because there's no way a human body can survive in the water by icebergs, but this is insane. They tie you up to a rope, right? You sign a waiver. You literally sign your life away. If I jump into this water and have a heart attack and die, it's okay. Send my body back to the US. And then they toss you off the side of the cruise ship into the ocean right by some glaciers. And then your body probably goes into hypothermic shock, because then they pull the rope and they dump you back on the boat and you have to bundle up. And anyways, doesn't that sound fun? That seems like something I want to do. The Drake Passage. Guys, if you don't know what it is, go on a little TikTok and search that. It is freaking insane. It's actually very terrifying, but I want to do it. So Miles with Morgan, Antarctica, who's down? No one? Okay, we'll stick with Greece in September. That is my next to do. Guys, thank you so much for sending in those voice memos. I feel like this is a fun little experiment that I did not know if it was going to go well or if it was going to be fun. So if you did enjoy it, please let me know. If you want to keep hearing more listener suggestions, I will post this again. Send me some voice memos. I love hearing your voices and trying to figure out who the hell you are. And also, if you did send me those submissions, please feel free to message me and be like, that was me. I don't have incense and I do not have a tapestry behind me. Okay, guys, so that is it. I got to go pack to go sit on a plane for 17 hours. It's been real. It's been fun. If you love me, like, listen, subscribe, share in your Instagram stories, follow the podcast page, all the fun things. Next stop, Hot Aussie. Okay, bye, guys. Thanks so much for listening to Off the Rails podcast. It's been real. It's been unhinged, and I'll see everyone next week. In the meantime, do all the podcast things, like, listen, leave a 5-star review, and catch up with me on socials at Off the Rails with Morgan. Bye.